Matron, take them away.
Welcome to Morning Watch with me, the Scruff, this fine day, 22nd of September. And is it a fine day? Well, it's not too bad today. Looking across the dales, the sun's shining, so it's a lot better than it has been. Got my coffee, because we all know Scruffy likes it coffee, and we'll crack on. So what are we doing? Well, in these videos, I give you a heads up of the economic news of the day to see if there's any spikes or potential turns in the market you need to be aware of. The times I talk about are all UK times, so please be aware of that. And then I'll also look at the strength sheet that I make every day for the Scruffy Squad and show you the strongest and weakest currency and possibly a watch list for today. So if that sounds good, these videos are on a reward basis. And the reason being is just so I can justify my time. We look for 100 likes on the video for the next one to be public. But these are made every single day for the guys in the Scruffy Squad. So, where are we up to? Well, you guys are up to hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, so I can continue. Let's crack on. Okay, let's flick this over and we'll have a little look, shall we? Well, the first thing we'll start with is economic news. Now, today, through the night, there was some reasonable news on JPY, which kind of sort of threw the market a little bit. So if you were in sort of US JPY, etc., you'll have seen some movement on that this morning. But also, as we run down, we're into movement right now on the pound. Now, it is retail sales. It will spike the market somewhat. It has pushed down a little bit this morning at the open at 7 o'clock. But it's not so bad that it's going to be horrific. But it's enough to wake the market up on a Friday morning just before the open. Now, running in from that is another ripple effect because there's some more high impact news that's coming in at around 8:30 for the euro. So if you are in sort of pound US cable, FTSE, the DAX, euro, dollar, you want to be really careful in and around the opens when these sort of events happen. Because not only have you got the news event coming in, you've got the opens themselves where the money flow flies in. So the spikes and the opens can be a little bit aggressive. Now, this is German manufacturing news at 8:30. So the market to watch is the DAX. The DAX will scream at around 8:30 this morning. Now, as we run through the rest of the day, it's quite low impact. There's not a lot going on this morning other than the aftermath of those two high impact announcements and then the ripple effect. It doesn't really do a great deal. Now, as we run into the afternoon, around 1:30, the US data starts coming in. It's not exactly lighting the world on fire today. It's all just medium news, but there is PMI. And PMI can give a little bit of a kick to the US market. So if you're watching the Dow, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, or any of the US pairs, sort of US CAD, that sort of thing, there will be a little bit of a spike in and around 1:30 to 2 o'clock this afternoon. And then after that, we're done for the weekend. My advice on a Friday is always the same. Be done with your trading before 1 o'clock if you're day trading, and then just enjoy the weekend. You know, there's nothing worse than going into a trade mid-afternoon on a Friday and then being caught in it as the market slows down to a crawl. It is really awful. So the times to watch this morning is obviously what's going on now at 7 o'clock, 8:30, and then 1:30, and then look to be out and enjoy the weekend and do it all again on Monday. But let's have a look at the strengths, see what's going on with these. Now, today is quite odd because, again, it's shown the markets are starting to compress and reset. There are none of the majors being pulled out, which shows that there is a compression in the market. And we can see that in the strengths because they're all pretty much bunched up. You know, there has been a big move. The Kiwi has moved to the top of the tree, and what it's starting to do is push forward. We can see that in the change of strength because it has a big movement from the last data sample. In fact, it's moved 24 points from the last data sample, pushing it well forward. And likewise with the Swissy. The Swissy has gone the other way. It has lost a lot of ground. It's minus 32 points, pushing it to the bottom of the tree, creating the biggest drop. But why I say it's kind of compression is if we look over to the left hand side and we find the New Zealand Swissy, its general market share, or its general ATR rather, is very small. It doesn't move a great deal. So an exaggerated move here will naturally push it out and make it a very, very strong contender. But what you can do is, though, you can use the strongest currency, which is the Kiwi, to then look at the next sort of weakest and see if it's a major or of any significance. And it's the pound. So if I look over here and I see the pound, well, it has a good ATR. It also tells me to look at the hours chart, and it's still up in here. So again, it's horses for courses and common sense. Now, if I'm going to apply that principle to this and sort of look at the Kiwi as the strongest against the pound, which has lost a bit of ground, how would that reflect into the charts? Well, easiest way, always look at the big picture. Well, the pound is selling off. Down it goes. Where's its next area to look at? Well, if it's looking at the bases of these, it's actually roughly around that area now, okay? But it is selling. You can see it. Thump, 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 thump. It's little sign of letting up. Now, where's that come from? Well, if we actually compress this, it's got a hell of a way to drop down. So just because it's coming into this cluster doesn't mean to say it's going to stall anytime soon. It could get right down to here. It could even come all the way down to here. You know, it's not going to happen in the short term, but it is feasible to show that it is selling down. Okay, so at the moment, this is kind of a sell market, and trying to pick out a top and bottom of this is quite difficult. In fact, let's have a look, see where we at. So that move started way back here somewhere. Okay, you can see that. There's the compression into the move. We can see a clear top, clear bottom. If I was just to start mapping this out, looking at it from a fib, from a high time frame point of view, and I pull that up to here, its next logical point of attraction is there. That one. So just get rid of that. Now just bring this back into a wider market. Now it's not that bad a target. Not really. It looked horrendous before, but now it looks into possibility. Drop it to the 4 hour. Clear signs that this is selling down. If that's the next logical point, it's, well, let's see, how far is that? $160, so that is doable. Take it down to an hour to see what's going on. Well, if we look at this, we can see there's the last push up. It's come down. There is a little bit of resurgence coming in here. How far can that move down? Well, it's very simple. You just put your retracement onto it. Where did it start? Probably this candle here. Swing that out to the top. There is a key turning point. There is the next target. There. And this is just from an hour's chart, quickly working things out. And then if it does push for a 261, it's not a million miles away from the level that I drew on the daily. So for me, I'd probably look to sell this. Would I be looking to sell it right now? Probably not. I'd be wanting this to push higher somewhat. 15. Yeah. You've got to push into here. So there's your current move. I'd be looking for it to pull back into this range a little bit. If it breaks under here, we've got a clear run at that, but I'd be looking kind of to sell this down to around this area. That'll be a half decent move. You'll easily get your 10, 20 pips out of that. And happy days. So very quick analysis. If you want to see full analysis and breakdown of how we do things and where your entry exits are, do come along to the Discord, and you'll find it in sort of the Rogue and Rogue Plus sections. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.